Very interesting comment from the President of the United States, a press secretary. He asked a question from Chuck Todd about whether, in fact, if a bill reaches the desk of the president, signed by the House, and passed by the House and the Senate, will the president sign it? Here's the answer. Well, there's no danger of any bill getting to the president for a signature. No danger of any bill getting to the president? I thought the idea was a bipartisan solution. So why would you start calling it no danger of a bill getting there? This is the problem with this. This is politics. Now, I want to be very clear on this also. We did a legal analysis yesterday, and we talked about it on the radio broadcast. It's posted online at aclj.org. The fact of the matter is the President of the United States has the authority to make sure the Social Security and VA benefit checks go out. No problem. The money is there, and the president has the authority to prioritize those. This is now politics at its worst.
Well, we actually found out today, too, from some of the largest banks in the country that they don't believe that the U.S. is anywhere near default. The Treasury Department did confirm that we have enough money to go past August 2nd, that artificial deadline set by the president. One of the estimates by Wells Fargo, one of the largest banks in the United States of America, remember, they're Wachovia now as well, said we could get through all of August without raising the debt ceiling at all because the Treasury revenues, that means the tax revenue coming into the federal government, are high. They've got $58 billion in cash as we speak right now, and they've got more coming in every day. But the scare tactics continued last night when the president called the American people, the House Republicans, collateral damage. It's his failure to lead that has caused not collateral damage, but direct damage to the American people.
We're very fortunate. We've got a good friend with us, Congressman David Schweikert, represents folks in Arizona, but really represents so many of us that are concerned with this issue. And Congressman, thanks for being with us today.
No, it's a joy, Jay.
Let me ask you this. The president has used what I've called a fear and intimidation tactic, telling senior citizens basically, and they keep repeating it over and over again, that the Social Security checks may or may not come, can't guarantee it, may not come, the money may not be there. Timothy Geithner said yesterday that's very probable that they may not come. You are working with other members of the House, your colleagues, to make sure the money is not only there but prioritized. The president has that authority.
Oh, absolutely. And Pat Toomey and I just introduced another bill to make it very clear the prioritization that, number one, you pay your coupons. You know, so anyone that ever uses the word default, they don't know what they're talking about. Default is when you do not pay your interest obligation on a bond coupon. And then we tried to lay out saying we're going to cover Social Security because that's a trust fund. We're going to cover the pay to active duty military, and then the president and Secretary Geithner can take the remaining dollars and set out their own priorities.
Congressman, let me ask you very quickly, why is the president making these threats, and why will he refuse a short-term deal and the kind of legislation that you've proposed and talked about today in your press conference that you just had with Senator Toomey that would make sure that all the folks he just mentioned would get their checks right off the bat?
That one's easy. He's become the campaigner in chief. To actually stand up in front of a microphone, look that camera in the eyes and say, we are buried in debt unless we also, and go back and read the S&P letters and the Moody's letters, it's much more than just raising the debt ceiling. They're making it very clear we get downgraded unless we do something substantial on bending this debt curve. The problem is this president who has exploded the debt, how does he look that camera and look the American people and say, oh, by the way, I've been lying to you for the last 2 years. We are heading towards a crisis, and it's a crisis of our making. So instead, he goes into campaign mode. He cares more about 2012 than he does, I believe, right now, telling the truth. Yeah. We either deal with the issue today or we become Greece tomorrow.
Well, in Greece, you've got a collapse that's affecting all of Europe. We've got offices over there, and I can tell you firsthand how difficult that's been. Let me ask you one last question, Congressman. I know you've got a tight schedule. How important is it right now, I'm talking about in the next several days, for the American people to engage this issue with members of Congress? Because the president said, please call your member of Congress. How important is it for people that are taking our position to make those calls and to get engaged in this?
I hope they light up the White House switchboard and say, we want to see your plan, we want to see it in writing, and we want to see it scored so we actually understand what the true numbers are, because it's really hard putting budget numbers on a speech.
All right, well, Congressman, we appreciate you taking time. Keep us posted on this legislation as it moves forward, and keep up the good fight. I know this is a very difficult time for our country, and we appreciate your leadership on this, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Jay.
We gave you the legal analysis yesterday that the president has the right to prioritize these payments. Now we have legislation that's backing that up. So Jordan's going to give you the number. I need everybody to do this. The president said, I want to hear from the American people. Let's let him hear. Don't intimidate us. Don't give us fear. Do not intimidate our senior citizens. Let's get this job done right. There's a bill coming to your desk. And don't say, oh, don't worry, there'll be no bill that gets here. There's going to be a bill that gets here, and the president needs to do the right thing.
Call now 877-989-2255. It is a leadership default, folks. No longer are we going to let him blame Republicans for everything. He says he won't sign a short-term deal, won't sign the bipartisan deal. Call now 877-989-2255 or aclj.org.